And then we test it. Nope. What's happening?
Oh, who, me? A plumber? Yes. You guys, this build deserves its own episode, so we have part 1 of 2 of the tiny kitchen reveal. We are taking it back to May 22nd, 2022. Oh my God, I've been working on this renovation far too long. Anyways, that is when we started plumbing or roughing in the plumbing for the trailer because we were about to put walls up. I opted to use the copper stub outs and a PEX system, but the PEX won't be run underneath the trailer. I am also going to be using a push to connect system as well as a crimping method. There's a ton of different ways to do plumbing, but those are the 2 simplest I found. And just for my beginner plumbing brain, it was kind of a no-brainer in this situation. Something I learned fairly quickly was that the sink I was about to plumb for needed a vent, and I needed to figure out how to get a proper vent in here with ABS versus the cast iron that was originally being run through this entire trailer. It was like old, rusted, and corroded. So I just copied the layout of the cast iron onto this ABS to create a vent for the sink that I want to plumb in the future. I connected those pieces with ABS black cement, which I'm linking all the materials down below for you. Once I had the vent put together for the sink, I started to put it into place into the wall and quickly realized that I needed to drill a hole going through the floor because it needs to be plumbed out and underneath the trailer. When the rough-in for the kitchen sink was all said and done, I moved on to going underneath the trailer and starting to rip out the old plumbing. As you can see, hot water and cold water was run with PVC along the bottom of the trailer, which you don't want to run hot water through PVC. And if you have cold water exposed, you want to make sure that it is protected. And you can see as well that the cast iron, the rust and the corrosion that I was talking about, is obviously on the outside, but that was just as much on the inside too. Looking back on this video, I now realize plumbing isn't scary, it's just a very particular puzzle you need to pay close attention to. So when I was taking apart the old plumbing, I took a ton of photos and then I just researched what was there on my property because your plumbing may be a little bit different. Please keep in mind that I live in the desert, so running cold PVC isn't anything crazy. I am going to wrap and protect it. I will be running the hot water with PEX, but what I'm doing here is copying what was here before. There was a shutoff valve to the trailer with the main water line that is being run up to it. So you don't have to run to the main water line and shut that off. You can just come here, shut it off if there is any issues. So this is the access point for the water to come into the trailer. I also love the fact that I can keep it turned off if we're not utilizing the trailer. You want to make sure that you are priming every single piece of PVC that is connecting with glue. And the tricky part for me really wasn't the PVC. It was the PVC to PEX connections, which honestly just took me sitting down in Home Depot and just like staring at every piece available and being like, let me just buy 7 options and see what fits. That's what I was doing here.
Over there. And then we test it. And if it explodes, we have to fix it tomorrow. You know?
This might be boring, and I'm sorry it's a boring beginning, but I got quoted $18,000 for this, and I barely spent maybe $400 on materials up until this point, and that's only because I made multiple trips getting the wrong pieces. After I got the basic plumbing down and kind of stepped back, I needed to add a design element just so I could move forward with the build of the kitchen sink vanity. Because I wanted to kind of break up this tile and white that was happening, I opted to add that vinyl, the Noble Ford Oak that I used in the bed build a while back, and kind of tie in the 2 ends of the trailer by creating a mini accent wall right here. I decided to add a couple of pieces of reclaimed lumber to the sides just to add more texture, and then I started adding scrap pieces of wood to create mini tiny baby shelves to utilize the most of this space. I don't know where I want to do the spices. leave it to me to lose footage of me installing those shelves, but I put those into place kind of where the seams of the vinyl met. And I went back in and stained the chair railing that I got from Home Depot to sit atop of it to create a little shelf ledge, but again, to add texture. You want up? Okay. All right. Okay. Are you happy? Today we have a rainy day here in the desert, so we're gonna build indoors, and we are going to be building a kitchen sink vanity. I'm really excited actually, because building a sink means it's getting installed, which means there's water in the trailer, which means we're one step closer to finishing this thing. Yeah, this is gonna be a sink I could take too. I have never built a kitchen sink cabinet before, but I have built different basic like coffee tables and workshop tables. So I just grabbed some 2x4s and 4x4s that I had on hand and kind of did a very basic framing to the height of which is recommended for a sink countertop. Mind you, I did try to use as much material that I had on hand as possible, because once I got that $18,000 quote, I was like, no, we're going to try to do this entire makeover, plumb, build everything for way less. Everything is being held together by pocket hole screws, which is a very basic and strong way to hold wood together. So if you're a beginner, don't forget it's a little jig and you can use it very easily and build lots and lots of furniture with a basic beginner knowledge. With the sink being a top, we're not going to be able to put drawers, so I'm putting the drawers at the bottom, and then we're going to utilize the top of those drawers as extra storage, you know, tiny kitchen, and we're going to try to make it as functional as possible. Figure out what we want to do for the top. You don't know this quite yet because I've been working on a ton of episodes behind the scenes, but this wood that I'm using as the quote-unquote countertop for this sink cabinet is the wood you will find wrapped around the windows on the exterior of the trailer. I like to carry textures throughout. Maybe other people don't notice, but to me it just kind of grounds the space together. Number one, how cute is this? Even like for a workshop table, I'm excited I'm turning into van. Number two, look at the snow on these mountains. I've never seen snow on these mountains before. You choking me. I think the sunset's gonna be good. I think the sunset's going. Faux Tile, who is sponsoring today's episode, has a recommended cut opening for the countertop. So I just followed that with my jigsaw and put it into place to make sure that I built this thing properly. No, not real. Not real, not real, not real. Oh, cute, so cute. Okay, when I could breathe that this was built right, I moved on to the smaller details, like just dressing the legs and staining. This up here is so cute when you stain. Staining this is like just take your time and then push the material in. Once the stain was settled, I decided why not add more chemicals into the room that I am working in. Fun. And I went and decided to do about 50,000 layers of that bar top epoxy. I just wanted this thick, clear coat on top of this rustic wood. I thought it'd be a cool look. 7 a.m. epoxy, 7 a.m. epoxy. As I mentioned before, I am doing way more than the recommended coats recommended. And that's okay because it's all about experimenting, you know, this episode, baby. So I just poured layer on layer on layer up until it got to the thickness that I wanted it to. And I let it sit there for about 3 days because I wanted it to completely dry before moving it on into the trailer. But I love that it looked like glass. It just looks so shissy. Here's a little back here. There you go. Ooh. I don't know. Oh no, I don't know if I like it. Okay, figure it out, Rach. Oh, I hate it. I did not like this whatsoever when we put it into place, but I challenged myself to just make the around the mess way prettier before you really decide that you hate the build, because that just took a long time, Rachel, and we just need to see this through. Okay, ma'am? Don't let your impatience and frustration get the best of you for instant gratification. It was not until after I installed this tile and everything was just secured up against the wall that I read, you don't want to use this if this gets wet all the time, this peel and stick. So I don't know if I would recommend it, but I will keep you updated if it upholds. You want to use traditional mortar. I am using that same tile that I have on the accent wall to the left, again, to bring that texture on over. And I feel like some people are going to drop out and be like, Rachel, this is way too maximalistic, maximal for me. But please just hold in there because it all comes together with decor, always. Done. I'm already loving covering up the mess. I'm pretty sure that's the ticket. This piece of wood has followed me around for a bit now. This came with the property. Pretty sure it was like the bottom of some sort of thing. And then I made it the bottom of a bed. Okay. Cute little detail. I think that's why I'm not liking it, because it seems so crowded after being so empty. I just need to cover up the mess. Hats off to you, Metz. Hats off to you, baby girl. Oh, I'm sorry, who this? This whole thing came from my brain. I'm just a genius, though. There we go. No. No. I found a third drawer, which is really exciting. So now I have 3 drawers. So more storage for dishes. And I think this is like the perfect amount of storage. I'm sorry, that's out of control. And add this, not only to chic it up. Fake it till you make it, baby. I know the mess for beginning plumbing that is going to be underneath that kitchen sink, so I'm going to go ahead and cover it. With this end cap right here, I'm just using that vinyl wood to pull a little bit more of a clean tone over, and then I'm using the reclaimed lumber to create 2 mini shelves that I am then filling with vintage, colorful cookbooks. This is where the color palette's going to start to play with you guys a little bit, and you're going to see how, like, the texture isn't so heavy, it's actually lighthearted and fun. I am at the point where I am going to install in the video, at least it's already installed and I'm geeking out. Excited to show you Faux Tile's 2-in-1 in-sink dishwasher. This entire episode has been based around making sure that we are building a home for this. I am just tripping out. Okay, I'll let that Rachel take it away. Let me give you the nitty gritty about the Faux Tile 2-in-1 in-sink dishwasher SD2FP3. So I actually installed this myself with the very basic plumbing knowledge that I have, which you've seen up until this point. And it really wasn't that hard because they have a YouTube channel that is insanely helpful. I've linked the videos that I used down below for you, as well as their manual is very straightforward. Dishwashing, sterilization, and drying is all in one simple process within this bad boy. It has a 120 volt service, and the sterilization and bacteria elimination happens through 5 washing cycles with temperatures varying from 122 degrees to 158. I mean, you're seeing it happen live. We're really just dialing in this little sanctuary over here, and something that I pride myself in throughout this whole renovation are details within intention and functionality. For instance, we don't need a whole dishwasher in here. You can only probably host 1 to 3, maybe 4 people comfortably. And this is the perfect size dishwasher for that. Not to mention, we would just have to add a huge dishwasher and lose storage space and just take up more of the tiny kitchen than is necessary. And as I said before, like, I didn't even know that this existed, but now I'm like, what an incredible solution. And also, it's just sexy. The Fotile 2-in-1 in-sink dishwasher SD2FP3 also uses less water per wash cycle than a traditional dishwasher. Fotile uses 3.17 gallons versus the regular 6 gallons of the regular size dishwashers. It also uses a 120 volt service, so after you just tie in the electrical with a basic connection and plug it on in, you are good to go. I definitely have a couple of things I need to tidy up in the build, but if you guys are interested in checking out Fotile's 2-in-1 in-sink dishwasher, I've linked it down below for you in the description, as well as pinning it in the comment to make it easy peasy for you. All right, that's it. Let's get back to it. I want to show you guys it in full use. I took my rings off because I know it's going to be so annoying doing this. And then I had this genius idea of wrapping this with rope. I think everything, even though there's a lot of texture, it's fairly clean when you pull out. That rope, I feel like dirties it up a bit because it's gonna be crystal clear view, really styled. Right. I'm gonna stain this after. Change the thickness on the front. I've been using a ton of trim in this trailer as accent pieces, so I decided to use extra pieces that I had on hand to just trim the outside of this kitchen sink cabinet. I also just put together some scrap wood, and I had a barn handle that I got a while ago off of Etsy, and just threw together a DIY door, put some hinges on it, and covered up where you could see like the front of the dishwasher and the sink underneath the cabinet. Here. That's the door. I just think there will be a window here. I'm just keeping this closed off because of the windstorms, and so it doesn't like get way more dust than's already there. A, B, C, and D. But remember, there's like a mountainscape here. I just don't want to take it down because all of our hard work will get blown. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. There's no hot water, but there is cold water potentially. I'm so nervous. No, is it leaking? Nope. What's happening? No! 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 Oh, who, me? A plumber? Yes. Well, my Invisalign has me lisping all crazy. I literally just, what? Yes. You want to see something? Stay. Running water in the trailer and no leaks. And then this is like the dishwasher, which I can plug in. And then, so then you have like a mini dishwasher and sink right next to each other, and you don't have to bend down, which I'm like, okay. Cabinet, so there's no dust. I'm not gonna say it's perfect by any means, but it is not bad for my first time plumbing and DIYing a kitchen sink cabinet specifically for less than the $18,000 that I got quoted. I'm really happy with how this all pulled together. I just can feel like I can breathe, and I'm excited to wrap this trailer up in the next couple weeks with you guys. It's like done. Like, you built this entire thing, Rachel Metz. Well, minus the shell of the trailer. I love the top loading.